It is very strange. I was sitting here thinking that Obama hates white people so much that he is trying to reduce the entirety of the population into poverty to see if or who amongst us, the strong, will survive. Because we know that poverty only leads to death and destruction and, terrible chaos. I don't know if anybody wants to really live in that. I mean, if you do, I don't understand why. I mean, I would hope that we were heading in the other direction. One where everybody could have a chance to, build a little something for themselves, for their families. You know, it, the more research you do about stuff in the history that you really look at is this most important thing. You realize that in the 1950s, there was a study done, and I really think it was designed to show, and this is the newspapers, of course, and whatever article, but designed to show that, look how good white people are. And I don't mean this to be a slam on white people either, but it's just the way that the media propagandizes everything. But I think it was designed to show that white families stayed together, at a very, very high percentage. And this, granted, this is the 1950s, so things were, different mindset. But nonetheless, the study came out, and I believe the percentage was about 83 to 85% of all white families stayed together, meaning the father and the mom stayed together, raised their children, and it was a very low percentage of white families that had a divorce or a separation or a death. For some reason there was a widow or a widower. Anyway, they wanted to compare that to the blacks, black society, and it was kind of funny because it looks like because they pulled like three or four different areas that were primarily black neighborhoods. And I think they were searching in hopes that they would find one that was much lower, but they but they didn't. They had to settle for one that was. I think that the comparison was that the average black family at the time was staying together like 86 to 88% of the time. So that just goes to show you that the black family has no problem staying together, but they've been reduced to having to do whatever they have to do to survive. So it's destroyed, the black family, which was a very, you know, proud. I mean, they owned their own businesses in their communities, but they were segregated. In 1950s. They wanted to separate them from white people because they realized that if you let everybody, intermingle, that people find out that they don't hate anybody really at all. They don't hate each other. So that's the whole game. That's the whole thing is to keep them separated. That way you can divide people and conquer them. And it's a very sick, twisted game that's being played on the American people. And it's very sad because I think a lot of people out here don't have any hate in their heart, but it's going to come down to the middle class being completely, demolished, basically, to where everyone's just poor. And then, may the strong survive, I guess. That's the plan, I think, from the federal government and the people behind the scenes who are funding and running the operation. I can't tell you how insulting that is to me. As an American, I'm a patriot to this country. I love this country. I know that we're not a perfect country. No, there's nothing perfect on this planet. But I think we've taken such great strides overall. I mean, we had a civil war to end problems, right? Abraham Lincoln was a part of this. JFK. We've had good people, but every time it seems that we have good people and we start to bring it back, something takes us back down. I think we just got to shed all these curtains, man, all these bricks and these walls that separate everyone in this country, and just say, you know what? Let's just tear them down and see what happens. Because I think if we tear all those walls down, everybody realizes, there might be some shit at first, because of all the bullshit that's been put in people's heads on both sides. But then people will start to understand, whoa, wait a minute now. Why do I hate this guy? Or why does he hate me? It doesn't seem like he hates me to me, but I've been told he does. Yeah, I've been told that, he hates me. And then I'm supposed to hate him. But when you tear that wall down, you realize, well, ain't that a bunch of bullshit? There's no reason for me to hate this person. That's how we take this country back, And if you do it that way, then I don't know, man. How can it be equal? How can it be fair for everyone? How can it be? I mean, when you truly do build something or rebuild something as a team, as a whole, as a unit, there's that bond there. Just like in the military, they don't have problems like that in the military because you become brothers with everyone there. Well, I think most of us want that for the rest of the country too. Doesn't sound like a bad plan to me, at least. Seems like everybody would do pretty well. I think that's what our founding fathers wanted. At least that's how I interpret it. They didn't have that chance coming out of England like that and breaking away because, things were so much different. It's not like just poof, the next day they could be perfect. But they laid out a plan. They wrote it down and they showed us this is what we hope to see, and that maybe someday it would be closer to perfection than what we are today. That's very moving to me, and I think that it's our responsibility to carry that torch, because I think they had the right idea. We just maybe haven't done such a great job in interpreting it. Anyway, I just wanted to capture that thought. I'm sick today, man. I had to stay home from work. It's been a bad day. But anyway, take care, all.